Welcome to a very special St. Patrick's Day episode of QTFTBSDV. Now, I'm half Irish and half Scottish, which means that on St. Patrick's Day, I have to get absolutely fucked up! Woo!
The night that Paddy Murphy died is a night I'll never forget. Some of the boys got loaded drunk and they ain't been sober yet.
Starting us off with the spooky case of the Grand Prix race.
And Mr. Osborne,
But you can't do this to me.
sponsor of the race, is here to describe the action for us.
Yes, the first driver to attempt to qualify will be Carl Conover in car 49. And here he comes.
Oh yeah, let me give you the rundown of this guy. He drives a car.
Go Speed Racer! Go Speed Racer! Go! He's after another victim. Only the Phantom emerged from the fog. Conover's car 49 has disappeared.
Gee, I wonder what they sell here. Damn, Freddy, you tried to put the moves on Velma?
The Grand Prix time trials.
Phantom Racer?
Let's see what is known about the Phantom Racer, Mr. Osborne.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Very little, Velma. A Grand Prix driver went off a cliff in the fog many years ago.
It's funny, I always thought that What's New Scooby-Doo had the darkest origins for the villains.
Oh
my god.
Oh!
It's always crazy how dark the origins are in What's New Scooby-Doo. Anyways, so, you know the drill. The gang decides to investigate, and hilarity ensues.
Like, nice try, Scoob.
Oh, did you see that? Looks like we're seeing Shaggy twice there. Let me explain what probably happened here. So back in the day, before computers were used to animate things, they would have to hand draw everything. So let's say we have the background, which would be on its separate layer, probably hand painted. Then they'd use these clear plastic sort of things called gels, and then that's what they would put the characters on. And they would take pictures of the cells, not with this camera, but with something rigged up like this. So they would take each picture and stitch them together to make film. What I'm guessing is what happened here is the dude was probably taking pictures at, like, I don't know, 2:30 in the morning or something, and just happened to miss this, and they either didn't notice it or it was too far into production to try again. It probably has something to do with either the camera lens or, like, maybe it's the kind of paint they were using for the background that caused the reflection. I don't know.
Well, if the Phantom's around, your keen nose will sniff him out.
Scoo, what do you do? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh, I'm not drunk enough for this. I'm gonna need another drink.
Well, so much for finding the Phantom. Let's go home.
Right on.
Anyways, so the gang follows some tire tracks and comes across a junkyard with a mysterious shack. After investigating the antique car museum, the gang watches the race, see what happens to the driver, and he gets consumed by the Dark Souls fog wall. So, they devise a plan to use Shaggy and Scooby as live bait, as per usual, by rigging up one of the race cars.
Sounds okay, but I'd feel better if we had one more thing.
What's that?
Some other plan.
There's just a lot of good bits in this episode. Scooby even starts to Fred Flintstone this shit.
Oh, like, let's eject.
And this is a debate worth having. Would you rather get launched into the air and parachute down, or deal with this guy? And if you ask me, I'd rather deal with this guy. I hate heights.
Yikes!
Dad, where are you?
So the gang comes across a secret tunnel and decide to split up and investigate. And we actually get to see what Fred and Daphne do when they split off into a team. Turns out they're just looking for clues. Who would have guessed it?
Oh, look at that! Conover's car, Roger's car, and Shaggy's car. A book on magic tricks.
And how to hip?
So, this is a new one. Number one, what's stopping you from just zombifying Shaggy like you did to everybody else up until this point? And Shaggy, what's stopping you from going full-on Last of Us on this guy? Come on, pick up a brick, be a man, beat him to death. Come on.
Rogers!
Next up we got the Ozark Witch Switch.
I will never rest until...
What is it with you guys and just doing this? You're gonna get hurt. Get down from there.
It looks more like the back road to Dracula's pad.
Oh, yeah.
Relax, you two. Just think of all the fun we'll have floating down the river on our rafts tomorrow.
Velma's right. We're on vacation, remember?
You guys are always on vacation. Find a new excuse.
Zoinks! Somebody's shooting at us!
Aha, that joke is too easy. Come on.
Forget the tires. We better find a place to spend the night.
Fred, the fuck are you talking about? The Mystery Machine's huge. Look, okay, let me do it for you. You can comfortably fit 4 people in the back and 1 person in the front. Remember, comfortably. Man, if I lived in a place where it was actually viable to live in a van, I would do it. It would be so cool. I would fuck that shit up. Oh, you're new.
About a month ago, the ghost of Witch McCoy started showing up around here, threatening to get vengeance and turn us all into frogs and lizards.
A wicked old crone they say was hung for witchcraft.
Wanna switch sides?
Like I guess we were both having the same nightmare, Scoob.
I'm getting very What a Night for a Fright vibes off this episode. I don't know what it is about it. So Scooby, Shaggy, and their new frog pal decide to go into a town literally called Spooky Hollow, where nothing bad ever happens, ever.
You see, the Witch McCoy turned poor old Pa Hatfield into a frog. Right, Pa?
Ready?
Get a look at that.
Yikes! He looks like a zombie. I can't see what he's doing. Yikes! Hurry, he's getting away!
We actually get to see them take a picture of it, which they never do that. That's pretty cool.
I'll take a picture of the marks and maybe we'll figure it out later.
Anyways, upon finding the witch's cave, we see that she's having a raven there. Probably something for St.Patricksday, am I right?
On the night that Patty Murphy died is a night I'll never forget.
Woo!
Some of the boys got loaded drunk and they ain't been sober yet.
Beat it, beat it, beat it.
She turned them into frogs. Poor Shaggy. Poor Velma.
Scooby?
Yes, Velma.
Scooby, over here.
Velma! Shaggy!
Like here we are, Scoob.
See, again, this episode also has some great bits. This actually got a laugh out of me.
Here's the picture I took of those gouges on the trail, but it's...
Are you shitting me right now? You guys have a full fucking red room in your van to look at Polaroids, but you can't spend 1 night in the fucking van?
We better find a place to spend the night.
The spell says 15 nails east to west.
It's giving me real Full Metal Alchemist vibes. You know how they hide their shit in cookbooks? You know, it's kind of the same thing.
Mine! Oh, mine!
No, you don't. It's mine.
Oh, you talk? You guys aren't together? What?
You thought you'd never see me again.
I thought you guys were partners this whole time. What the fuck? Am I supposed to rank you guys separately now? Okay, fuck. You know what? Now that's a 5 out of 5 laugh if I've ever heard it. It's fun being on this side of the coin, isn't it?
He did it!
I'm getting out of here.
Why, I know him. He's Zeke Harkins, the bank robber who just broke out of state prison.
Let's see who our witch really is.
Zoinks! It's Aggie Wilkins.
Next up we got Creepy Cruise. And just warning everybody, there's a lot of flashing lights in this episode. Like, so many. So if you want to skip this episode, it's not a fun one. It's not spectacular. You can skip to here. I got the number on screen, or the time on the screen now. Yeah, there's a lot of flashing lights, so you've been warned.
Come now, Professor Van Clem. Do you expect us to believe you've actually invented a time machine?
Anyways, so to catch you guys up, this fucking quack decided to make a time machine, and it fucking worked.
Thanks to Shaggy and Scooby winning that contest.
What's that?
Don't be afraid. I am Professor Van Clem.
Anyway, so Doc Brown over here is presenting his time machine to his investors, which consist of Will Ferrell from Anchorman, The Godfather, and Bruce Wayne, same suit and all.
Something is wrong. It is going into the future. 4,000, 5,007.
Like, send it back to the future!
Look! The time machine's working! The professor's pulling him back!
Hey, that was pretty easy to deal with that. Oh, okay, bye. Guys, this is a weird episode. I don't know what to say about it. It's very odd. It might be one of the worst episodes of Scooby-Doo I've seen in a while. It's very weird. Anyways, so the gang split up and look for clues, and we actually see Daphne become useful for once. Fred, how about you put Daphne on your shoulders and give Velma a break here?
Oh!
Anyway, so the gang finds the doctor, and turns out he's fine. He's just tied up. And the doctor turns on his time machine to put the monster back to the future. But he steals the money from the investors right before he goes back. Convenient. Anyways, so they decide to bring the monster back to get the money back, and the plan goes perfectly. Turns out that the doctor and one of his investors, or the guy he worked for, were actually scamming their investors to steal all of their money.
Yeah! Like this one's empty.
We have been tricked.
We don't really get to see them unmasked because it was technically Shaggy in the suit the second time. So, I guess we're moving on. Next up we got the creepy heap from the deep. What are you? Jeez, you were like the reject Fraggle. You are odd.
Boy, we sure goofed when we planned this beach party.
Do you give up?
Been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
It's a sea monster!
Anyway, so Shaggy and Scooby discover the sea monster, and it actually comes up on land, which admittedly is pretty creepy. It's cool to have a villain that can both be underwater and on land. That's pretty good.
Run for that house on the cliff! It's our only chance!
Damn, that's a nice house for being on a fucking cliff. Like, that shit's gonna blow over, dude.
What can I do for you, mateys?
Can we use your phone, sir? We need your help.
Help? Why?
Because of that creepy heap from the deep.
Hey, that's the name of the episode. Good job.
The monster? You saw the monster?
Yeah, you can actually probably still see it if you just look over the side of your cliff here. It can only see fucking everything.
The legend says that 100 years ago,
What are we having? Story time? What is this?
an evil sailor had a terrible curse put on him by his shipmates, and they threw him overboard. And now he's come back, changed into this awful, unspeakable, supernatural creature.
I love the Lovecraftian style of villain of this episode. Even the powers are creepy. Like, this villain is just... he's scary, dude.
Look, he tried to leave a message.
Creature? Spirit? No, the creature owns my spirit.
Feels like we're going down. Let's get out of here. Hey, we're back on the beach.
Huh?
The elevator came right down through the... Zoinks! It's the creepy heap!
Now see, this is scary. Do you want to go back inside with this guy, or stay out here and deal with this guy? And I don't have an answer for it. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, so the gang comes across a sunken submarine and decide to investigate, naturally.
That's one.
A creepy sunken sub,
A weird old sea captain.
that blinking light in his house, and a funny kind of key.
What's it all add up to?
5.
In this case, Scooby, 0.
And after seeing some weird flashes from a light off into the distance, the gang just decides to swim out there because, you know, what else are they going to do with their time? Van's broken down, monsters walking around. Let's go investigate the light, you know?
Fire 1! Fire 2! Fire 3! Fire 3!
Hey, there's been an all-points bulletin on this one. He's a notorious bank robber who just broke out of jail.
Moving on. Hello and welcome back to the awards ceremony where we figure out who the winner of this episode of QTFTBSDV is. This very special St. Patrick's Day themed QTFTBSDV episode. We have had some strange fucking villains this episode. From race car drivers to sea creatures to bugs from the future to just a zombie and a witch. But which one of them is the absolute best? Let's find out. Bring up the scoreboard, please. In case it's your first time watching, we rank each villain in 4 categories. Design, laugh, powers, and plan. Each category is out of 5, making a perfect score 20. Just a reminder to everybody, we've never had a perfect score, but who knows, maybe this is the episode. Starting us off with the Phantom Racer, gets a design of 4, because although I do like the design a lot, design is pretty sleek, pretty creepy, you know, it's not too much, not too little. I feel like it was too much blue, so I guess it was too much. It was a little too much blue. There was a lot of, it was just, and blue's my favorite color, but like even I thought it was too much. So it just, you know, like, cause like a lot of the backgrounds were blue, a lot of the sets were blue, the car was blue. It was a lot of blue. Let's make the villain like appeal to the eye more, you know. The witch gets a design of 3 because it wasn't super creepy. I thought the eyes were pretty creepy. That's kind of it. So, yeah. I mean, the eyes did really carry you in this category, which is, you know, good for you, but, you know, not good for winning. The zombie, who I'm ranking separately from the witch, because technically they weren't on the same side, gets a design of 1, because this lazy bastard just put on a fucking turtleneck and jacket and went outside and called himself a zombie. Like, fuck off, dude. You look like every other fucking guy walking around. The Bugman from the future gets a design of 3, because it is off-putting. You know, giant Bugman walking around. I do like the colors a lot. I do like the ketchup and mustard thing he's got going on. It is a little too cartoony, which is stupid to say because it's a cartoon, but, you know, it didn't really come off as creepy. Off-putting, but not creepy, if that makes sense. And the sea creature gets a design of 4 because it was pretty good. I didn't really like the skin tone color that it had going on. That could have been changed. But I did like the like crazy seaweed hair and the one eye, and the big mouth and teeth, and like the tail, and the webbed hands and feet were a really good touch. There's a lot of detail put into this monster. Just wasn't a huge fan of the overall color of it. Laugh, the Phantom Racer gets a 4 because it was a pretty good laugh. It wasn't super deep, which I could have used a little more deep. He did use it pretty often, which I appreciate, and yeah, no, just a little more deeper, and that would have been a 5. Good laugh overall. The witch gets a 3 because she had a pretty classic witch laugh. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot, but she didn't really use it often. We got to see it a couple times, once in the beginning, towards the end at some point. I could have used it a little bit more, you know. Like witches laugh, you know. I want to hear more laughing. The zombie, although he only laughed like once or twice in the episode, it was a pretty deep laugh. It was a little goofy, but I liked it. It was a little creepy. It kind of reminded me of the Ghosts of 45 laugh. How they had like a deep, weird laugh. Kind of reminded me of that. The futuristic Bugman gets a 3 because, just to remind you, laugh doesn't actually mean laugh. It can mean laugh, battle cry, screeches, moans, roars, stuff like that. So, futuristic Bugman gets a laugh of 3 because he did have some growls going on, but I could have, if they leaned more into the bug theme, I would have probably bumped that up to like a 4 or 5 even. And it would have been cool if like maybe the pincers kind of like made a noise, or if there was like some more clicking noises going on with this guy and like some hissing noises. I feel like it would have benefited off that too. But they didn't do that, so he only gets a 3. The sea monster also only gets a 3. Very deep and gurgly and stuff, so kind of sounded like there was like water in his lungs and stuff. But like that was kind of it. I feel like it could have been more, I don't know really what to say, more scary, I guess. Like, we're looking at this sea monster and he's just like going around like gargling like mouthwash, you know, like it's not intimidating. The Phantom Racer, he's got 4s across the board. He gets a 4 for powers because the powers, again, were pretty good. Dude could drive a supercar, which I consider that to be a power. If you can drive any car, well. I'm just saying, like, this guy is driving a supercar, following people, catching up to them, and then somehow making them disappear. That's pretty good. Not only that, he was also able to zombify his victims using hypnosis. The witch gets a 5 for powers, because just like the laugh, it was pretty classic witch powers. Turn into a cat, stuff like that. Turning victims into frogs. Making potions, making spells, you know, that's some good shit right there. It doesn't have to be too over the top. It's pretty simple. You just need a broomstick, and you'd have the full set. The zombie gets a 1 because he didn't do fuck this episode. I guess he comes back from the dead if you count that, because I guess he was a zombie, but like that's kind of it. Dude didn't really have any powers. Futuristic Bugman gets a 1 because I know what you're thinking. Oh, he came from the future. That's like the best power of them all. Yeah, but he didn't even do that. The time machine did. He didn't bring himself from... He didn't make the time machine. They accidentally, in quotation marks, brought him back from the future. So no, he didn't have time travel powers. He just was wrong place, wrong time. That was his powers. Now if he could time travel, that would be a fucking 10. I don't know. He'd win. I'd give it to him. But he didn't. He was just a guy. The sea monster gets a 5 for powers because, like I said, for design, he was able to go in and out of the water, which is pretty useful. You're a sea monster. Being able to breathe underwater, see underwater, swim super fast underwater. Obviously, those are the baseline for being a sea monster, but also being able to follow your victims onto land, that's pretty good. Oh, and also the sucking human souls out of their bodies thing, like fuck, straight up Dementor, dude. If you didn't catch it in the episode, they said that the sea monster had to steal people's souls to make his life longer. Phantom Racer gets a 3 because the plan was good and I liked it. Just let me explain. So this plan was to kidnap, or at least zombify, the racers, steal their cars, and send them overseas to sell them. That was it. The other thing about the plan is that the guy who pulled it off, he faked his disappearance. So he kind of suffers from Captain Cutler syndrome, because if you remember, Captain Cutler basically did the same thing, but he faked his death. Just like the Vikings from last episode, you automatically raise my suspicion. You gotta go full on Captain Cutler. Fake your death and sell that shit. The zombie and the witch, I'm gonna rank them both as 1 because They both pretty much had the same plan, just somehow fucked around so much that the two of them didn't run into each other. Which is kind of impressive, but you don't get any more points for that. Futuristic Bugman gets a 5. So this is one of the most bizarre plans we've ever had in Scooby-Doo. Let me tell you about it. So we got Doc Brown and his investors and this dude in the blue suit who we're going to be calling Mr. Business. So Doc Brown and Mr. Business are like, hey, we got to make a time machine. So they make a time machine in quotation marks. They get some investors. And so basically the way that the contract, again in quotation marks, the way that that works is that if the time machine works, then, you know, jolly good. If it doesn't work, then the time machine goes to Mr. Business and he takes the time machine and all the profits it makes. So the investors obviously want the time machine to work because they've invested a lot of money into it. So Mr. Business dresses up as Bugman, climbs into the time machine, they flick it on, and it looks like the time machine works. Hilarity ensues. They got the money on the table. Mr. Business gets pulled back into the future and grabs the money. All is well, they got the money. They built this fucking washing machine with some LEDs on it. Told people it was a time machine. Got this fucking crazy suit from, like, I don't know. I don't even know how you'd make something like this. Like, this plan was genius. And, you know, you guys kind of got away with it. And the sea creature gets a 5. Let me explain. So, we got the captain, a sunken submarine, and a ship. So, this captain, he's like, hey, you know what this would be good for? Sneaking cons out of the country. So basically, dresses them up as a sea creature, lifts them onto the boat, and they go below deck. He makes them a new identity, new passport, new everything, the whole thing, and then they go on their merry way, like nothing happened. That's this dude's plan. That's what this guy is doing on the weekend. And the only reason it failed was because some idiot decided to ruin the mystery machine. If you guys had left the mystery machine alone, they would have gotten their van and drove away. Yeah, they would have come back eventually, but like you could have had, like, I don't know, extra security measures taken at that point. Anyways, so you guys also get a 5 because you also got away with it. So, let's add up the scores and figure out who this episode's winner of QTFTBSDV is. Coming in at 15 points is the Phantom Racer, 12 points is the Witch, 6 points is the Zombie, 12 points is the Bugman from the future, and 17 points is the Sea Creature, making the Sea Creature this episode's winner of QTFTBSDV. Congratulations to our winner. Thanks for watching, and join us next time when we deal with a scrapped villain from Power Rangers, the lost 5th member of KISS, the lost 6th member of KISS, and every kid's first jack-o'-lantern they carve. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, that was a fun one, wasn't it? This is the end card if you hadn't guessed. Yeah, that was a fun episode. Those episodes, you know, as goofy and weird as they are, they never really stood out to me. So, like, I never really went back and rewatched them. So coming back to them was, like, kind of a bit of a surprise. It was kind of fun because I didn't remember shit that happened. Like, I didn't remember the twists and turns and all the gags that they did. It was a lot of fun coming back to those episodes. And it honestly felt like I hadn't seen them before. It'd been so long since I'd seen these episodes that it was like fresh content. And yeah, like when I started this video, I was like, damn, we're really getting up there in like the dud episodes, aren't we? Like the end of the Scooby-Doo show, like it's really, oof, we're hitting the rough era. No, these are good episodes, like genuinely. Like the Bugman one was like a little. It was entertaining. It's kind of stupid, honestly. It was kind of goofy, but I mean, a lot of Scooby-Doo is goofy. So I mean, what am I talking about? What am I complaining about? All 4 of these episodes were great, though. They were really fun. That's literally all I gotta say. And they were, like, really well paced too. They felt it followed the Scooby-Doo formula, but, like, still managed to fill in the gaps without saying stuff like, let's split up and look for clues. Oh, Shaggy and Scooby are live bait, stuff like that. And, like, we didn't have, like, the chase sequence with the song. I mean, we did. We might have, actually. I watched it on YouTube. Like, all these episodes are on YouTube. So, like, they might have just cut it out. I don't think they did. I could be wrong. But, like, my point is that, like, they were able to really space out the episode and pace it well. And, that's cool to see. Because we're going to be getting into 13 Ghosts soon. And I want to see some good paced episodes. And I think we will. It's been a very long time since I've seen 13 Ghosts. I don't even think I finished it the first time I watched it because I just didn't. I forgot. But, yeah. So, let me tell you what we got coming up next. So, we got another episode of QTFTBSDV. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, so this is the end of season 2, by the way. So, because this season of QTFTBSDV was kind of fucked, the way that it worked. Because, the first 9 episodes of season 3 were technically a part of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? So that's why it was so fucked. But, now that we're back on track, yeah, we're back on track. So now we're technically in season 3. Because that was the end of season 2. Now we're in season 3. Which will be, 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3. We have 2 more episodes left. And then we're going to do the finale where we do, like, the big episode that's, like, longer-ish. Sometimes longer. I don't know how long the last one was. But the one where we discover who the winner of season 3 of QTFTBSDV is, not the Scooby-Doo show. I'm saying a lot of words and I'm actually kind of confusing myself. We're gonna pick a winner for this this chapter, and then I guess we're gonna move on to 13 Ghosts, because me and Cartoon Culprit talked. I say this at the end of every end card, but we talked, and he was like, "Are you gonna go back and do the Scooby and Scrappy show?" And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing the Scooby and Scrappy show. I might talk about it once, but like, I just don't care for it. It's not a great show. Scooby's a biped, which is always a red flag. I don't particularly care for Scrappy. I don't particularly care for Daphne. It's just, if it's not gonna interest me, I'm not gonna do it. So, I'm not gonna do the Scooby and Scrappy show. I might make a video about it. I'm gonna make a video talking about Scrappy before 13 Ghosts, so keep that in mind. But I'm not doing Scooby and Scrappy show. Fuck that. Again, Scooby-Doo movies, like not the movies, like the new movies, like the show. That's gonna be a project for the future. Gonna have to work on that a bit, workshop that. But yeah, after 13 Ghosts, we move on to a couple of movies. What's new? You get the drill. I've talked about this before. I'm just rambling now. We're 5 minutes into the same card. Oh fuck. I'm falling apart here. Go enjoy St. Patrick's Day. I definitely will. This video should come out on St. Patrick's Day. If it doesn't, then it's either gonna be before or after. Either way, go enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Don't get too drunk. Don't get too fucked up. I will. Not. I got you there, didn't I? Anyways, done. I'm out.